Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar. Today, we're going to be looking at how teachers would reward students with badges. Before I go any further, I just wanted to let you know that previously, if you've joined our webinars, we used to use Google Hangouts on air, but from now on in, we're going to be using YouTube Live, which has, well, basically Google Hangouts has now merged with YouTube Live. So all our future webinars will be held on YouTube Live as webinar events. So to see how a student would achieve a badge and receive a badge in Moodle, and also how a teacher would create this badge and set this badge up in Moodle. You might have some questions as I go along, so feel free to use the chat facility built in to post any questions. So I will keep an eye on that with any questions that may arise. If you have any questions after this webinar, you can email me. So my email address is just in the middle there, and our Twitter ID is just available at the bottom as well if you need to follow us. So badges are used to celebrate achievement in Moodle. Using badges in Moodle is a good way of engaging students within your course, and you'll find that when you do start using badges in Moodle and your students are issued with badges, the students will start competing with each other as well. So that will increase your Moodle usage, course usage as well, and ultimately students will benefit from online learning. These badges are fully compatible with Mozilla Open Badges, which is an open source project. So any badges the students achieve in Moodle, they can push to their Open Badges backpack, and this backpack is accessible by the student even when they leave school as well. So they can add these badges to their CV or resume and that kind of thing. So there's two types of badges that can be awarded in Moodle. So there's site badges and also course badges. So course badges are what we are going to be using today. So we're going to create a badge within a Moodle course, and we're going to set a criteria for a badge so that the student must meet some conditions in order to receive this badge. Site badges are used for, let's say, to give you an example, if a student completes an entire course. So there is course completion and activity completion in Moodle. So if you're familiar with course completion, then you can use site badges and award a badge to a student once they've completed a course. So they've gone through a course, they've read all the materials, they've done all the assessment activities, and the course has been marked as complete. So similarly, there is course badges as well, which basically means any activities within the course that have a condition against them, we can use those activities within our badge criteria. So I will show you that next. So we're going to be using a criteria, creating a criteria, but you can also choose to issue badges manually. So once you've created a badge, you can go into your course, and you might have 20 students in your course, and out of those 20, you can decide which students should receive this badge. So you can issue badges manually if needs be. So when I go through the walkthrough, I'll be first of all demonstrating how to set up activity completion within Moodle. So we need to, in order to create the criteria, we need to make sure we have some activities within our course that have some certain conditions set against them, so they're marked as complete. So that's the first thing we'll be doing. And next thing we'll do is we'll create the actual badge, and we will choose the criteria for the badge as well. And then finally, we will log in as a student and show you their journey, so how they log in, how they complete activities in order to receive this badge, and where it's kept as well. Okay, so without further ado, I'll close this screen down, and then we'll go to our demo Moodle here, which you can see. So you can see I'm logged in as a member of staff, and under my courses I have a link to the geography course, as well as other courses. So this is the course I want to use today. So you can see there's a section at the top labeled global hazards, and there's some content in here which the student has to view. And underneath this, we've also got another topic called hazard types and definitions. So this is the topic that I want to use today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these 4 activities, well, I'm going to set activity completion against these. So the student must complete all 4 activities in order to receive a badge. So to do this, you have to turn editing on, and you must also make sure that you have activity completion turned on within your course. So within your course, you have a block called administration, and if you click on edit settings, you will see the course settings page here, so you can rename the course, etc. But if you scroll down, you'll see a heading called completion tracking, and there's only one option in here, and you must make sure that enable completion tracking is enabled, is set to yes. Okay, so I'll just click cancel to go back to the course. And if we scroll down, I can see my activities here. So I'm going to set some activity completion. So the first 2 activities, or resources rather, the first one is a web link. The second one is a PowerPoint document. So I want the student to be able to just mark these activities as complete themselves. I don't want to set any conditions against these, so this is very easy to do. So all you do is click on edit and edit settings, and then underneath the settings here at the very bottom, we have a heading called activity completion. So here all we do is change the completion tracking option to students can manually mark the activity as completed. Okay, and then save and return to course. And then the next one, I want to do the same thing again. So edit and edit settings. And then if I go down to the bottom here, I can see activity completion, and then completion tracking. I can also change the setting so that the student can manually mark this activity as completed. So I'll just do save and return again. So I've got 2 activities there. Now the third one is a quiz. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to set activity completion against this one, but I'm going to set some conditions, and those conditions will be that the student must achieve a passing grade. Now the passing grade within this quiz is only 30%, so chances are everyone will pass this quiz anyway. But just to show you, I could increase that actually to a bigger number. So let's say we'll make it a bit more realistic. So I'll change it to 60. So they have to achieve 60% or more to pass this. And then under activity completion, this time I want to change the completion tracking option to show activity as complete when conditions are met. And the conditions I can set down here. So the default condition is ticked, which is require passing grade. So that's already ticked. That's the option I want to enable. So the passing grade was 60%. So the students must achieve 60% in this quiz in order for this activity to be marked as complete. Okay, so I'll just do save and return. And the final one is a SCORM package, which I want my students to view. So I can click on edit settings again. I can again choose to make my students mark it as complete manually, or I can set some conditions. So if I click on activity completion, and you can see completion tracking has 2 options again, and I'm just going to choose students can manually mark as completed. So 3 of the activities the student will decide that they've marked them as complete, but the quiz will be marked as complete when they achieve a passing grade. So you can see now I've got all 4 activities here, and on the right hand side I have some tick boxes. So the solid bordered ones are the ones that have a criteria of students manually marking the activity as complete. The one that has a dotted border is the one that has a condition set against it, so that they must achieve a passing grade. Okay, So the next thing we do is we create the badge, and we then, when we create the badge, we can use these activities as part of the criteria. So if I go into the administration block again, so in every course there is an administration block, and if you go down to badges, you'll see the option to manage badges or add a new badge. If I click on manage badges, this will show me the any existing badges. So you can see there's a badge that's already been created, which has some criteria set against it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new badge, and this was going to be called, so this is the name of the badge, so it's a mandatory field, it's got a red star against it, so I'm just going to call it Geography Genius. Okay, and description will be this badge is awarded to students who complete the hazard types and definitions topic. Okay, so I can also, well, I must use an image, so I can drag and drop an image into my my badge. So I'm just going to go into here, and I've got a shield image here. So you can either draw your own badges using Photoshop or similar, or you can download free to use images for your badge. And then the only thing we need to do now is add our name in here. So teacher name goes here, and you could put your contact email address in there as well. The only other thing you can do as an optional is badge expiry. So an example of this will be, let's say this was a first aid badge. Because first aid has to be renewed on a regular basis every few years, you could put a expiry date on this, and then once that date arrives, that badge will disappear from this student, and they must retake the activities in order to achieve this badge again. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it as never and just create the badge. And the next thing we do is choose the criteria. So here we've got a menu for choose. So what we're doing is we're creating a course badge, so we need to choose activity completion here, and then we can see all our activities that have activity completion set against them. So you can see there's a URL, file, quiz, SCORM. They're the 4 activities. So at the very underneath that, you've got a heading called "This criteria is complete when," and you need to make sure you select all of the selected activities are complete. Otherwise, if you choose any, they can just manually mark one of them as complete, and they'll receive the badge. So I want them to be able to only receive the badge once all these 4 activities are marked as completed. Okay, and then we can just save our changes here. You could also, if I go back, you can also edit the settings as well. Once you're first creating the badge, you can edit the settings, so you can go back. And one thing I forgot to mention was that you can set a due date against any of these activities as well. So the student must complete the activities by a certain date in order to achieve the badge. So I'll just cancel that. So you can see our criteria is there now. We can see recipients is currently 0 because no one's achieved the criteria. And it's quite important, and that's enable access for this badge. If you don't enable access, then the students cannot earn this badge. Okay, so badge was successfully enabled, and all I'm going to do now is log out and log in as a student. So if I go back to manage badges, you should be able to see there's 2 rows now. So you can see we've got Geography Genius, which is the one that we've created, which has a slightly bigger criteria compared to the Geography Quiz King one. Okay, so I'm just going to log out and log back in as a student. Okay, so I'm just going to go into the same course. Under my courses, I also have access to Geography Global Hazards because I'm a student within that course. I can see all the course contents, and if I scroll down to hazard types and definitions, I can see some tick boxes next to each one of these activities. And there's one which is grayed out. I can't complete this one manually because it's got some conditions set against them. So I can click on this link here. I can view this page. So I'm happy with that. I've seen this page. I can mark this as complete. I can download. I don't have to download. Let's say I've seen this document previously. I can just mark it as complete. And the same thing goes for the SCORM package. So I've marked 3 out of 4 as complete there. Now, in order to receive my badge, I need to mark this quiz activity as complete as well. So if I click on the quiz, I can make an attempt. And if I pass this quiz, so if I achieve 60% or more, I should receive a badge. So I'm just going to go down and select the relevant options. So I may or may not pass this, by the way. And click on next. And there's one more question, which is just here. And I'm just going to do finish attempt. So all of my answers are saved. And I'm just going to do submit. So I'm submitting my quiz here and my attempt. And you can see that I've achieved 65 out of 100. So I've just scraped it. And if you have a look on the bottom corner of my Moodle window, I also have a new message. So if I click on go to messages, you can receive a message from the teacher. So you can see the badge Geography Genius, and I can go into my badges page to see the badges that I've earned. So you can see there the 2 badges that I've earned. I can download these badges as well onto my computer and upload them to my Open Badges backpack as well. And the student can also choose to connect to their backpack with Moodle. Okay, so if I go to my user profile, so if I click on my name and go to my user profile, in my user profile, I also have a badges section, so you can see the badges that I've earned here. So it's a really good way of rewarding students, celebrating achievement, and engaging students with your course. Okay, so I'll just log out and log in as a teacher, and we can then see the recipients. So if I go back into my geography course, I can go into the administration block rather, and click on badges and manage badges. And here you can see the recipients column now has a number 1 against it. Okay, so if you wanted to create a new badge, you don't have to always create a brand new badge. You can duplicate badges as well. So you can see there's an option to copy a badge. If I try and edit this badge, I can see there's a tab called message. So if I click message, this is the message that I received on the bottom corner and as a Moodle message. So you can choose to customize this as well. So you can embed a video in here, or maybe even a link to a website, an image, that kind of thing. So that can be done in here. But yeah, if you have a look at recipients, we can see there's 1 recipient in there now which has achieved this badge, and you can see that they've achieved it on a certain date, and you can also view the issued badge by clicking the link, which opens in a new window, so you can see badge details and if it expires as well. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. If you do have any questions on badges and how to use them effectively, feel free to post any questions you might have, or make a note of my email address. The next training webinar will be held on Wednesday the 19th of October, so roughly a month from now, and we're going to look at how a teacher would use a new homework interface which we've recently released. So it's a really easy way of setting and marking homework Everything's in one place, so it's a very easy place to see all the homework set for teachers, and all the marking can be done really easily as well if needs be. So yeah, that will be on the 19th of October, and it will be delivered twice, so 8 AM British summertime for our Southeast Asian customers, clients, and also 4 PM in the afternoon for anyone in Europe or the UK. Okay, so just want to say thanks again for joining today's webinar. I hope you found it useful, and I also hope you find some time to join the next session next month. Thanks for watching, and bye.